You hate ads? I hate ads. You know what I like? Patreon.com/inkdependence keeps this blog ad-free. Hello folks, welcome to inkdependence.com. I'm Mike, and this is Sailor Ink Studio number 840. That's 840. There are 100 colors in the Ink Studio lineup, and I definitely don't have all of them, or even very many of them, but this one was sent out by a viewer who was like, hey, you gotta try this one, and they were right. So, let's check it out. Here is Sailor Ink Studio in number 840, and they don't really have names. They just have the number, so you just have to remember the number 840. And generally, the way these go is that there are like 10 levels or 9 levels of each one. So there's a 140, 240, 340, etc., and each one is slightly more saturated than the one before. And so you get like a very, very pale color at the 100 level, and then a very like saturated level, saturated color up at the 800 or 900 levels. So 8 looks pretty good. I've seen 740, and I think it actually looks a little bit better. Check out Kelly's site over at Mountain of Ink to see that one, because I think it looks a little bit better than this one, but this is a very nice color. I've had it in this pen, which is a Sailor 1911 Gunkunjima, which has got a hard, broad nib, and it's a very cool nib, shaped like an island. The sunset. Anyway, this nib, I was like, I don't know what to put in here. I want to put a Sailor ink in there, and then I was like, well, how about this one right here? I like that blue. Look at that. It's good looking. So this is the color you end up with, which is a very nice sort of medium dark blue. It doesn't have any weird tints or anything to it. It's just a solid like medium dark blue. Flow, I say, is a reliable medium. I have a few of these hard broad nibs. I know how they work, and this one is not gonna flood. It's not gonna go dry. It writes every time I pick it up. No problems at all with this one so far. Bleed and feather on copy paper, yeah, we've got a little bit of that. It's not the best on copy paper, but also remember that this Staples 20-pound 30% recycled copy paper is pretty much the bottom of the bin, and also this is a broad nib. So while it's a Sailor broad and not like some big broad nib, it still has a little bit of bleed here and there, and just a little bit of feathering, not too much, just a little bit where I pause or something like that. But I think if you put this in a fine nib or a medium nib, you're not really going to have any problems. It just has a few little spots. So not too bad. Not too bad, but not perfect. Qualities, some shading. You definitely see some shading here in the text, and a little bit of sheen. There's not a whole lot of sheen in evidence, but you see it every once in a while, so pretty rare sheen. And down here, as you can see in the writing sample, I kind of like it. It's in this fancy Sailor, as I say here, ever since I got it, and I've probably refilled it a couple of times. Not that a Sailor converter carries all that much ink, but I have run through it, and I don't really refill pens with the same ink very often, so obviously I like this one. All right, let's go ahead and do a little water test here. This does come in a 20 ml bottle, and I don't have any bottles of this Sailor Ink Studio stuff, so you're going to have to take my word on it. But they are nice looking little bottles, but they're fairly small. So 20 mils is a fairly small bottle. It's less than an ounce, and 18 bucks is not exactly cheap. So the thing about Sailor Ink Studios is there are a lot of them, and they're not cheap. So, find the ones that really call to you and grab those. So this one we can see is not going to be perfectly water resistant or anything, but let's blot this up and see what we have left. I kind of think it's going to be plenty to read and all that. Let's get out here. There we go. Nice little, I don't know, airplane or something. The what do they call that? The thing in Knoxville, the giant virus, the sun tower. But yeah, plenty of ink stuck around. So while it's a fairly saturated ink and some of it will smear away, it didn't cause any major problems when I poured water on it. So that's pretty cool. All right, so let's take a look at the chromatography. And we'll take a look at it on some extra papers, and then we'll take a look at it next to some other inks. So here is that chromatography, and it looks cool, right? I mean, there's this layer that stuck around, so you get actually better permanence on paper than you do on this chromatography sheet, but all kinds of interesting things in here. So you got a light blue, you got this like weird violet tinge down at the bottom, you get kind of a green layer sort of in the middle, and then a bright blue up at the top. So all kinds of interesting things in these. Blues are often complicated colors, but I think that's very nice. All right. Alrighty, so here it is on a couple of other pieces of paper. Here's an Inky Fingers currently inked notebook. This is wheat straw paper. Get these while you can. I think they are going away soon. And there it is there. I think it looks very nice. It works very well on this smooth paper that's not really coated, but wheat straw paper tends to be very fountain pen friendly. And I think this looks very good there. Maybe even, does it look better there than it does on Rhodia? It might look a little bit better there than it does on Rhodia. I don't know. It's going to be up to you, but I think it looks very good on the wheat straw. Here is the Tomoe River Ink Journal. Find these at inkjournal.com. I use these all the time. And I'm halfway through. Exactly halfway. How fun is that? Okay. So there's Gunkanjima's entry with the Ink Studio 840. Get a little bit of sheen over here. Not nearly as much as you get from like Discovery Green or whatever, but that is an intense sheener. So yeah, there you go. I think that looks pretty good on Tomoe River. It went real well there. Okay, let's take a look at it next to a bunch of other inks. Here is Ink Studio on the Colodex card. Scoonch in. And I didn't have anything that was exactly like this, which is cool. I have a lot of blues, as of course you know. Hawaii blue is a beautiful blue, I think. It's a little bit brighter than 840 is, but the same kind of things down here in the lowlights. More sheen on Hawaii blue, too, from KWZ. This one's a little hard to find, though, which is unfortunate, because it's cool looking. There's Diatomiensis Hyacinth, which I think is kind of close, but, like, look, I got this in 2012, and this is a scented ink, so this is not going to be for everybody. I haven't used this one in ages. Noodlers Ottoman Azure, which again I got in like 2012. I haven't used this in a long time either, but it's pretty close. And if I have a choice between Noodlers and Sailor, I'm probably going Sailor, just because that's kind of how I roll most of the time. Here's one of my favorite really dark blues. This is Sailor's Shikiyori Yanaga. Not too shocking that Sailor would look kind of like Sailor, and this one has a bit more of a green sheen to it. Let me see this actually next to the Yankee blue. Where is it? Or New York blue. Oh, Shikiyori Yanaga and the New York 50 States blue are pretty close. 50 States is darker, I think, but not by a whole lot. All right, cool. There's that one. Definitely check out Shikiyori Yanaga. That's one of the few inks that comes in a smaller bottle from Sailor. I'm like, yep, gotta have this one. So I bought a whole bottle of that. Noodlers Henry Hudson blue. I don't think I've ever actually used this one. This one I got from a friend who bought it at Fountain Pen Hospital, where I think it's an exclusive. But I don't think I've ever gotten around to using that one. Then this is Diamine's Majestic Blue, which is a classic blue from Diamine. Not quite the same. This one definitely has more sheen, and it tends lighter than 840 does. But sort of in the same vein, and probably a lot of people know that one, so it's a good touch point. And then lastly, this is Krishna's Silent Night Sky. Whoa, what's going on? There we go. It's freaking out. The camera's freaking out a little bit. And I think Silent Night Sky looks pretty darn close to 840 here. I haven't used Silent Night Sky. This is one I've only had a chance to swatch, but it's a very nice looking ink. So that might be a possibility if you can get Krishna inks, which you can't really get Sailor Ink Studio. So that's a possibility. All right. So thank you very much for watching. This has been Sailor Ink Studio 840. Thank you very much, Terry, for sending this sample for me to check out and show to people. So find this wherever you find your Sailor Ink Studio inks. Looking at the internet right now, looks like it's in stock at AndersonPens.com and at Dromghouls.com. Both of them have it. $18 for the 20 ml bottle, and you might be able to find it in some places in a sample. But this one is good looking, so if you like it, go get some. All right, that's it. Like, comment, subscribe, tell a friend, and consider becoming a patron, because that helps the channel stay around and like helps me get cool stuff to show. So thank you very much. I will see y'all later. Peace out.